that bring about great discomfort, great distress, great harm, great injury. And they use the name, the Prophet said that. You study that and study the Qur'an and see if this Prophet of God could have taught that. In today's Muslim society, like before, a fatwa is enough to authenticate an action. A fatwa, a religious verdict, is enough to authenticate an action. And there is no shortage of fatwa and counter fatwas. I can tell you that. There is no shortage of fatwas and counter fatwas. One other thing I mentioned, that this messenger was a messenger of salam, peace, soundness, safety and security. This messenger was a messenger who brought salam to the community. He didn't come on the scene and he fired Jews. He said, get out of Arabia. He didn't say that. This Qur'an didn't authorize him to do that. He didn't start a campaign of hatred against Jews. The campaign that you see that exists almost with every Muslim. And they feel Jews are the worst people on earth. He didn't start a campaign against Christians. This what exists in the Arab world is a political problem caused by the Arabs themselves. If you know history, then study the history of Palestine. Who has caused Palestine to be like this? I agree there are atrocities committed by Jews. But what about the Arabs of their own Arabs? Nobody talks about that. It's easy to go and blackmail one set of people. This Prophet didn't come on the scene and create animosity with peoples of other religions. He didn't do this. If we study this Prophet, we need to go back to school, the Qur'anic school. This Prophet came to build bridges. We have burnt them. We have destroyed them. We are fighting political battles and we are calling it battles of Islam. And the people who are fighting these battles are not even submitting to Islamic values and guidance. I give you one example. There are plenty in the Arab world right now, and plenty in Pakistan and outside, but I'll give you one example. I'm only dealing with the issues as they present themselves. When Gaddafi was there, Gaddafi was rumored to be the tyrant of Libya. Okay? So you have these Islamic people who rose up against Gaddafi, and Gaddafi was known to have persecuted people. So they got rid of Gaddafi. These people who were supposed to be God-fearing and want justice and want democracy, they got rid of Gaddafi, right? What has the human rights, the World Human Rights Watch found? That these people themselves, who have gotten rid of Gaddafi so as to rid the Libyan people of the atrocities of Gaddafi, are themselves guilty of that now. I used to learn as a little boy that hair do not grow on glass, or we say glass bottle in the Caribbean. Whatever you want to grow, you have to sow the seed and prepare the soil accordingly. You don't like atrocities? Who like it? I agree. But you have to cultivate better values. You can't want to free people from exploitation and go there and chastise them. This beloved Prophet was a prophet who brought community together. How much movement there are in the Muslim communities in Canada and outside Canada to bridge the human gap. Oh no. Almost each one sees himself as an island by himself. We look at the differences with people. We don't look at what is congruent. This beloved Prophet looked at what is congruent, what is common. If you look at me for faults, you will see maybe 1 billion. If I look at you for faults, you think I wouldn't see any? Of course. The same eyes you look with, I can look too. But this beloved Prophet taught us something that we had no time to learn. Many of our ulama say that verse doesn't exist anymore in the Qur'an. Conveniently. They institute something called nasikh and mansukh. Abrogator and abrogated. And the masters say, Ameen, like they say for everything without knowing what they're saying. So chapter 2, verse 62. Inna alladhina amanu. Those who declare a commitment to the security of life and all the assets of life. Not Muslim life. It didn't say Muslim life. It says those who declare their commitment to the security of life and all the assets of life. That's Iman. Iman is not when you say Amantu Billah. You're just saying. Inna alladhina amanu walladhina hadu. This was a mighty messenger. He was not those cheap kind of ulama you have today. He had to talk on solid, dynamic grounds. Inna alladhina amanu. All people who commit yourselves to preserve life, to secure life, to the security of life in this society. وَالَّذِينَ هَادُوا. And all you people who say you're guided by God. That's what the Jews say. They say we are guided. He said, okay, you too. وَالنَّصَارَى. And you who claim you are helpers of the message of Jesus. The word Christians do not truly translate Nasara. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَالَّذِينَ هَادُوا وَالنَّصَارَى وَالصَّابِئِينَ and Sabians. So what the Prophet did, by instructions and guidance from Allah, was to build bridges. Could you imagine when a messenger comes, is like an area that has drought, suddenly starts to get rain. Trenches are made, canals are formed, rivers are formed, and people can not only get water to drink and wash, they can irrigate their lands, they can feed their animals, and they can bathe and feel happy. You can see that. But you tell me, where is this blessing of the messenger in the lives of Muslims? Are you excited about that? I don't see that. I went to a Muslim country, and I came from a country that is all rain and sunshine, no winter, thank God. And normally rain, I know what is rain. And one day there was rain, and the professor, one of them was staying in the hostel, and he said, where is Saffie? And they said, he's in his room. So I got a knock on the door. What's it? Ustad is calling you. When I go up, I saw they were all dancing on the roof. The roof were flat, not the roofs in the Caribbean like that. So he said, why aren't you joining us? I said, that's rain, I don't want to be out there. He said, this is blessings. I said, where I come from, I have a lot of that. You know? What I want us to think about, brothers, don't walk this place with an empty head. Because you and I have responsibilities on our shoulders. Cultural Islam has failed Muslim long time. We need the Islam of the Prophet. And you can't get that unless you go back to the Qur'an and be a student for life. Without strings attached. Without being member of a sect or with prejudice or baggage. You can't get that. You're getting crumbs. And you can't do, crumbs wouldn't satisfy your hunger and thirst. So what this Prophet did, he came to build the bridges in society. He says, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَالَّذِينَ هَادُوا وَالنَّصَارَى وَالصَّابِئِينَ. He said, all you people who are claiming you have a commitment to good values, to good principles, you acknowledge divine presence,